now. Alright, so hello, welcome back to Hunter Tune. Today we are going to be working on doing the boost by gear for this red coupe with the H22. And first, we're going to get the ECU out of the car, which we have it on the bench here. And I have my soldering iron and my desoldering pump. I would really like to get one of the like the air actuated soldering, desoldering guns. Jason Waters has been telling me about those, and he makes it look literally flawless, easy. But eventually I do plan on getting one. But for now, good old $2 desoldering sucker works just fine, I guess. So we're gonna install the components into this computer here. This is just a basic chipped P28. So the first one, we're gonna work from the top of the board down. The first one that we're gonna install is Q20, which is just this little dude right here. So these things have a flat on them. So there's a flat side and a round side. The flat side with the writing on it always goes towards like the chip, like this way. But if you are confused, you just face it pretty much the way that all the other dudes like this, the things that look like this, I don't know exactly what they're called, but you just face them the same exact way as all the other ones. So we already desoldered the holes on Q20, which is right here. Can you see that? Oh wow. I'm really surprised the camera is actually picking this up. There's no light over here at all. Right. It's like dark over here. Right. So we're gonna install this guy. Bam, bam. Go to the back side of the board and solder it on. All right, so next, what I usually do is I just bend the legs out of the way and just keep bending them back and forth, and they'll break off. So then we don't have those extra legs chilling, because you don't want the legs to actually hit the ECU case and cause an issue. So yeah, there's our first component installed. Next we're gonna move on to R70 and R71 resistors, which are going to be down here more. Let me find them quick. Okay, so R70 and R71. Hold on. We got R70, R71, and then D13 is below those. So those two resistors there are the ones we have to put in next. Right there. Ooh, Q31 looks a little fucking munched on this ECU. You see that?
Yep. Sucked her through.
Alright, so R70 and R71 are actually labeled on the Jason Waters Boost My Gear kits here. R70 is going to be the one with the, it looks like a red, orange, brown, yellow-ish resistor. I'm just going to trust that he labeled it right and throw it in.
That's the one he's talking about right there. My light's right on it. That it's kind of munched up.
Okay, so R70. Resistor just like this. What we're going to do is bend it.
Okay.
Like that.
It's not wide angle. You got to remember now.
What, you have to focus on that? Wide angle? Okay. Bend it, just like this. And shove her through the holes. Pull them tight. Just like that. Then we grab R71.
So R70's in there. Now R71, right in between there. That's what we're doing next. So with these kits, you can do 3 ECUs then?
I bought 5 kits from them.
Or
4 kits, I think. I don't like buying them individually because I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them.
Right.
R71. There we go. Now we solder those in.
Them guys right there.
The resistor direction does not matter. You just got to make sure that they're in the right spot. Show them the solders.
Yes, sir.
Hang on, let me rip. So, these are the legs.
We're looking here. Yep, them boys right there.
You can't even tell I did such a good job.
Right.
Yeah, you just want to make sure that you don't get any like cross traces. So like make sure you don't get any solder on, like excess solder on the board. And what I do, it's probably not the right way to do it, but it works. I take a soldering iron and I just kind of drape it across to where I soldered to like pick up any of the old solder. So like if there is some solder on the board, I just touch the iron to where that solder is. And usually the solder will just stick right to the iron and it'll pull it off the board.
Right.
All right, so we got two more things to put in. The next is going to be this diode, which is like a directional resistor type thing. I don't know exactly what they do, but they have a stripe on them. Can you see the stripe? The stripe always goes towards the ECU plugs. So this is for D14. Which is gonna be somewhere in here.
I just saw it too.
Right here.
Yeah.
D14, and you can see that there's an arrow on the board.
Yeah.
Which faces towards the ECU plugs, and that's where the stripe on the diode goes.
Look at that, no moss solder in there. There we go. Dope.
So then the stripe, bend these legs in. The wires on the diode here are a lot thicker, so we might actually use like a pliers or something to pull it flat, or you can just leave it like how it is right now. It's not going to affect it if it's not flat like a resistor, but we'll probably just do that, leave it like this.
Okay. I'm just gonna burn that together. You can really tell my shaky hands from this.
Right. Could you see me solder it from the other side?
Yeah, I have been the whole time.
Nice. All right, you can show them on this end now.
Dope. There we go.
And the last little thing here, it's a high side switch, or it's a switch of some sort. They look like the Vtech switches.
Oh.
Vtech switches look just like these. Except a Vtech switch has 5 prongs on it, and this one's a 3-prong. Same thing on this guy, it's gonna have writing on it, which is gonna be towards the chip. So like if it's out here, you face it towards the chip. Like I said, if you have questions, you just follow everything else on the board and do whatever the board tells you to do. And I think it just goes right here, Q29.
So it's gonna be right next to that diode that we just put in. There we go. Boom. Yeah, you can see them on the camera.
It goes all the way through.
Yeah.
Nice. There we go.
Boom.
Ready to rip. Got some live action coming at you today.
Alrighty, guys. What up, Gary? I just gotta do this quick little clip wire on the new camera.
What you trying? A little turkey sandwich?
A little chicken sandwich from Quick Trip. Oh. What you think about the Quick Trip chicken?
Oh, that's some good stuff. Almost as good as Zachaby's chicken.
Oh.
You gotta get yourself a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
I thought about it, actually. Yeah, guys, so we were just munching on this chicken sandwich from the Quick Trip right here. It's just delicious. I don't think Hunter's going to use this, but you better.
I would
Thanks.
say Wisconsin equals Quick Trip. Shout out.
Pretty much.
Hashtag Quick Trip. Maybe they'll give us some coupons.
All right, guys, so we actually just got done doing the ECU work on the car, and now we have it strapped back down onto the dyno, and the ECU is back installed into the car again. So after we got the ECU installed and did all the components on the ECU side of things, we actually got to plumb the Mack valve. This is a 3-port solenoid that we're going to be using. One common thing that a lot of guys don't know is a 3-port will be used for kind of more fine boost control. So if you want to be able to go in like 1-2 pound increments, a 3-port will work a lot better than a 4-port. But a 3-port will cap out a lot sooner than a 4-port. So say you have a 5-pound wastegate spring, like was what on this car, we probably will only be able to triple the amount of boost, or maybe a little bit more than triple the wastegate spring. If we had a 4-port on this car, we would be able to at least quadruple the boost. So just kind of a rule of thumb that I go by, at least. So if you have a really small wastegate spring and you want to be able to run 40 pounds of boost or 30 pounds of boost, get a 4-port. If you have a 10-pound spring and you want to go to 20, 3-port kind of thing. So we have it all plumbed. Pretty much what we did is we ran the bottom port of the wastegate to a T, and the other side of the T, one of the sides of the T's goes to the number 1 port on the Mack valve, which is going to be this one right here, and then the other end of the T goes to vacuum source or a boost source of some sort. And then the top portion of the wastegate will go to the number 2 port. The number 3 port will be open to atmosphere for venting. So that's how you kind of plumb one of these solenoids. And then the wiring is pretty simple. You just do the, one of the wires goes to A11 on the computer, which is the ground side of the solenoid. The computer will send a ground signal to the solenoid to open and close it. And you need to run a power to it that's constant or switched. So we did that, and now we are ready. We have everything plugged into the car, and we're going to go into the tune and make sure our boost control is off for the time being. We're going to get a baseline, and then after we get a baseline, we are going to do some adjustments on Honda Tuning Suite. This is just a regular chip P28. This is not a Honda car, so just showing you guys that we can do this without Honda with the HTS software. So that's what we're going to start now. We're going to get a baseline, and then after the baseline, we'll go into the computer and play around with the boost settings. And hopefully make 300 wheel, because this car, that's what the customer wants. And we got it pretty close last, I mean, what was it making the last time?
250.
250 it made?
Yep.
And that was on 5 pounds of boost, so I'm thinking around 8-ish pounds, 9 pounds. We should be able to make that 300 wheel,
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
250.
Yeah, 250 was our best pull. Graph's really clean, air fuel's really clean, so should be pretty good.
Alright guys, Hunter is making some changes here on the tune, and let's get ripping. This is, I made a post on the Hunter tuned, hold on here. I made a post on the Hunter tuned business page of this car. If you guys don't like that, go like it on Facebook. It's Hunter Tune business page. I now run that. Let's get it. sense thinking. Alright, let's see what you made.
Get rid of that green. Okay, so we're like overlaying. We're not really picking any boost up.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just playing with the solenoid inside the car, trying to get it to, you gotta find the happy spot where it starts to make boost. And it's somewhere in between 20 and 60 usually on the solenoid. I'll show you guys quick.
Yeah.
So now that we have a couple baselines done, we know the car makes 5 pounds of boost. We are actually gonna go into the software of HTS here, and under the PWM setup, we're going to run fixed duty cycle, and we are running normally open solenoid right now. If you had these reversed, the boost would either spike or not make enough. So normally open. Like I said, if it was normally closed, we would spike, which is not good. And I'm running currently 30% and we're not gaining any boost yet. So we're gonna slowly add in more percentage on this thing until we get some boost out of it. So this pull we'll try like 45. I have the boost cut really low and I'm just kind of monitoring the boost on the dyno as we're doing the pull, so I will see if it's running away. But I am trying to get this car finished up.
Put the setting at 45.
Maybe only 1 pound, we can check. See what it made from the pull before that.
And it made, yeah, it made 7 pounds.
Yeah, instead of 5 3/4.
Right.
So I made 7.1 and it picked up fucking 20 wheel. Well, 230, this was, I just got out of it because I realized it wasn't making any more boost. But the last pull we did make that was like clean when we were doing dyno runs constantly. 240 on 5 pounds, 260 on 7. So 2 pounds of boost, we picked up 30 horsepower. So we're gonna use this data, actually 20 horsepower, my bad, not 30. We picked up 20 horsepower from 2 pounds of boost. So every pound of boost is giving us 10 horsepower. We're going to continue to push on it, monitoring the boost level, because we can see here that it should pick up 10 horsepower per pound of boost.
Right.
We're going to be monitoring that as we go up in boost. And if it ever starts to not make as much, but it's making more power, so like, or making more boost, but not making that 10 horsepower per pound, we need to stop and back it down, because that's when shit gets hurt.
Right.
That means
That's
the system is
capped.
backed up, the system's backed up, and it's gonna get backed up very easily with this log manifold that's on this car.
Right.
So we're just gonna take it easy. It's on pump gas. Yeah, I'm literally just taking it easy on the car. We wanna make a number for the guy, and that's what we're gonna strive for. So this next pull, I'm gonna give it a little bit more, and just make sure our air fuel is good. Are we good up here on the air fuel?
Yeah.
11.5, 11.5, 11.5, 11.5, 11.5, perfect.
Yep. And so I'm gonna show them one more time with the new camera. This log manifold.
It's garbage.
Yeah, so the middle two, so 2 and 3, go straight into the turbo. 1 and 4 hit this 90-degree bend. No bueno. No bueno. So, like Hunter said, we're taking it easy. Just so we have a nice, reliable, consistent car. This thing's a ripper though. So this pull is on 55% duty on the Mack valve. Man, I love this car. I don't know why. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I like it because it's an EG. Guaranteed. And H-Series makes so much goddamn power. Like, that was 7 pounds. Made 260. 267 and 208. Find my mouse here. On 8 pounds. On 8 pounds of boost. 267. Another one. That was 292 on 10 pounds. 292 on 10 pounds of boost. This thing is a ripper. Absolute ripper. All right, this is for 300.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for this EG. We tried pushing it, but I'm having to put a lot of duty cycle into the boost controller on the tune, and we're not getting much results. And we're actually getting a boost curve that is coming up and kind of falling off. So it's kind of telling me that this turbo is on its way out. It is a very old eBay turbo, like super old eBay turbo, and it does definitely have some shaft play to it. So he wanted 300. We made 292 today, but that's the best we can kind of get out of this turbo specifically. So if this had, you know, one of the turbos from my website on it in this log manifold, we could probably push it to like 350, I would say 300, 350, but I'm not going to push it much more on this turbo just because I don't feel safe pushing it. So like I said, I told you guys initially, we went from 5 pounds to 7 pounds, we made 20 horsepower. We made almost 11 pounds of boost on this pole, and it only made 292. So we are not making the horsepower per pound like we were. And then I actually added more boost into it on the solenoid, and it made less. So it made 281 on the one it made when I put more into it. So like I said, that's just kind of telling me that this turbo is getting overworked, and it just can't flow the boost. So the RPM of the turbo on these things, once you start spinning them really fast and trying to make good power, especially with a car that has a lot of exhaust energy like this H22, you know, they just shit out. Need a good turbo on something like this. The eBay ones work for really low power, I would say 300 and below, but once you start getting to this 300-ish horsepower mark, these eBay $100 turbos really start to suffer. So yeah, let me know if you guys need a turbo from huntertune.com, and thanks for coming along today and going on this journey fixing up this little EG. We did make some progress with it, but some more progress to come in the future, that is for sure. But yeah, otherwise this motor sounds really good, and there's nothing coming out of the overflow, so we have good head gasket seal, and the 4-bar is working great, the Mack solenoid is working great, the boost by gear components inside the ECU are working great, etc, etc, all the above. This thing's rocking. So I think this one's good for the customer to come pick up, but hopefully he'll be ordering some parts very soon and making this thing even better than it already is. But I don't think that's really needed until we find out that the motor is built. So we are actually unsure of if this is a stock H22 or not, or if it's a built one. So we're gonna try to figure that out as well.
We don't have a borescope.
Yeah, no, we gotta get a borescope so we can actually look inside of the spark plug holes and see if it's got a set of pistons or if they're stock. So I might have to look into one of those. Also, yeah, that's really it. Also, if it does come in with a different turbo, or if he wants to replace this current turbo, I would like to get this car on ethanol as well, because the pump gas stuff, for one, it stinks up the shop. Ethanol just smells a lot better, and it's just way safer on the motor. So we're gonna try to get some ethanol in this setup as well, if he wants to continue making more power. So all to come once we talk to the customer, and hopefully he's happy. I know I'm happy with the car. This thing came in literally not even running, so we've made this thing a lot better than it was. So we'll end this video off with some two-step for you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great night and a better tomorrow. We'll see you later, and thanks for all the support and all the love. Thanks. We're gonna shoot some fireballs quick.
I want to turn the lights off. Damn! Alright, time to turn the lights back on. I'm afraid of the dark. Damn! Wow.